Yay. Okay. So we will upload these to YouTube so that you all can refer back to them. But don't worry,
Cool.
it's
Cool.
low
Cool.
pressure.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to cover Git today. Just to raise show of hands, everyone familiar with Git, or how? Who here has like no idea what Git is? Raise your hand. Who here kind of knows what Git is? Raise your hand. Kind of know what Git is? Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to go from you guys kind of know what Git is, and we'll just move from there. Cool. Let me share my screen. Oh, you've disabled screen sharing, host.
Oh, man. Hold, please. Does anybody know how to fix that?
Good question. That's a good question.
Am I the host? Change.
It should be under the share option. There's a little arrow, and then you'll be able to click on parameters or options.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Okay. Try now.
Aha. Cool.
Yay.
Okay. So this is like the this is a standard guide that's sort of given to everyone, and I've altered it a little bit, but it's basically, yeah. Okay, this is Git, how to get a Collab lab. Cool. So this is obligatory SKCD reference. This is Git. It tracks collaborative work on projects with a beautiful distributed graph theory tree model. Cool, how do we use it? No idea, just memorize these shell commands and type them to sync up. If you get errors, save your work elsewhere, delete the project and download a fresh copy. Sometimes that is true. And also there's always going to be one person somewhere in your work who like really knows Git and like do like a lot of fancy stuff with Git. But in general, there's just like maybe like 5 commands you have to worry about. But yeah. Cool. This is a little diagram I made just so you have a really big overview from the start. So what's the life cycle of Git, right? So Git is a way to store files into like version files. So it always starts from the server. The server is going to have the main branch of all your code. In this case, this is the GitHub URL, and it's like a company that's like the owner of the company, and this is the app. So they're going to have several repos that live under our company. And so the first thing you do, you're going to clone it. Cool. And now you have a copy of the main branch on your computer. Cool. Then you're going to make a branch on your local. Cool. And that's super rad feature 01, which is just a copy of main. And in that branch, you can do whatever you want. That's a sort of it's a branch off of main. It's yeah. I don't know if I can explain that any better. Cool. So as you have that locally, you're going to do a lot of work. You're going to do development. You're going to change it, and you're going to commit directly to your local, just over and over again. You do a bunch of changes, you're going to work on your feature, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, you're going to be like, okay, cool, this is all ready to go. I'm ready for what is called a pull request. I've always found that to be very confusing. But you generally have pull request, which Xavier's going to cover later, but I have a whole bunch of changes and I would like to merge it. But okay, so when you're done all this jazz here, all this development, eventually you're going to push all your local stuff and create a remote branch up here on the server. And then this is what Xavier's going to cover next week, which is how does all this jazz happen? But that's sort of the general workflow of how Git works and how Git works sort of professionally. There are other ways that people set things up, be more confusing. There's other things you can do, but that's more or less all you sort of need to know. Cool. So what we're going to cover is creating and switching branches.
Actually, Jason, before we get too much further, can I interrupt real quick?
Sure,
so we have
absolutely.
Is it Andrea or Andrea?
Oh no, how do I go backwards?
Andrea,
hello. So we have Andrea here joining our call for this first weekly sync, and she's going to be the person who is our code of conduct responder for this cohort. So we'll let her introduce herself real quick so that she can hop back off. Jason, do you want to stop sharing your screen for a moment?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
okay. Yeah, hi. I didn't mean to interrupt. I can do this at any point during the meeting. That's fine. But I just want you all to know that, well, first of all, my name, I'm Andrea Martz, and I will be the code of conduct responder for this team. And we'll learn more about that later, or maybe you learned about it in the orientation, but the code of conduct is in place just to make sure that we're creating a psychologically safe space for all Collabbies and just to ensure that everyone has a good experience. So I am here to help you if you need anything. I will be checking in a couple weeks just to have like a one-on-one with each of you to see how things are going and, you know, see how I can help. But I am always available, you know, not just then. So feel free to DM me if you're more comfortable that way, or contact me in any way you would like through Slack, and I will respond to you. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm so excited for all of you. By the way, I did Collab Lab in the fall of 2021. So I know the fun that you're about to get into, and you will love it. I'm confident you'll love it, but if you don't, I want to hear about it. And that's about all from me. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrea. All right, back to get things.
Awesome.
Sorry, Jason.
Cool. No worries. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is a brief summary. So creating branches, staging.
Okay, do you want to share your screen?
Oh, am I not sharing? Yeah, that's
all
classic,
good. My bad.
move.
I've thrown off your groove.
Thrown off a whole groove. Cool. So creating branches, staging changes, saving changes in history. So git add, git commit, these are all things that happen on your local. So you make changes, you stage it. There's a lot of like weird things that happen in Git, which I'll have a picture later and you can understand, but staging changes and saving changes in history is all locally. Changes just on your machine, and then sending changes to GitHub is when you push it up to the server. Cool. And then as you move on, you're going to be able to pull changes from the server, like what is that other team made, or what is Joe made on main branch. You can pull it and you can get all the new changes. Cool. And then you know, getting your changes in the main, which again is Xavier's job. Right, Xavier? Yeah, he's there. Okay. Cool. Git terms. I don't know why this is so late. Anyways, repository, repo, collection of files under source control like Git. So, you know, you have main file and then source, and then your JavaScript files, your stack files, all that stuff. All the stuff that makes a program, usually. Remote, again, that's the remote server. In our case, that is GitHub. Branch, a working copy of the repo. The main branch is a source of truth. So again, there are different styles of how things work, but in our case, we're going to say main is where everything lives. This is like, main is usually production. Like anything that gets into main will eventually get to production, and then you work on feature branches. A commit is a set of changes to the repo. Sure, that makes sense. If anytime you guys have questions, just yell out or shout out. And then head is the last commit. That's more esoteric, but that's fine. Pull request is a set of changes you'd like to merge into main. We'll also include documentation and the whys and hows. Again, Xavier's job. Cool. This is a graphical illustration of how like merging happens. So how's this working? So this is like main, you create a branch and you work on it. Cool, you're doing stuff. Yeah, cool. And meanwhile, I guess somebody has done all this work on main, and you're doing your stuff like, oh, someone else is working on main. That's cool. And eventually you merge, you're gonna merge these guys together. Oh, can't go backwards. Sorry. And then your changes get sort of integrated into the main set of changes. Cool. We're going to talk about cool, more in depth on the commands. So branching, git checkout. So this is how if you think of a repo, which is like a program, and main is the main branch, it can also have many other branches. You know, a main branch can have many branches, work on different features, different bug fixes, and you can check out different branches from GitHub, and that's, you can go check out cool feature, and that's when you say, hey, let's get that thing. Or you can make it locally where you create checkout -b new feature. That's when you create your own branch, which you'll eventually push up to GitHub. Cool. And again, when you create when you pull down a local branch, you start working on it and you start committing, that's just on your local. You do whatever you want. It's not going to affect anything until you push and get a PR. Cool. Git add, staging changes, pair files will be committed. Only stage files will be committed. So as you have the main set of files, sometimes you want to make new JavaScript files or new HTML files or new whatever files. You need to add it to your local copy of what it understands as a code base to be. And that's all it is. Git add. Git add the path to the file, the name of the file. Committing changes. You're going to do a bunch of stuff. You're going to make a whole bunch of changes. And then at the end, you're going to say, okay, I've added these stuff. All these things are changed. They're all staged. They're all ready to be changed to my local. And that's when you commit. And that's, you basically save it locally. And this is the standard line here, which is git commit -m is message. And this is, what you've done. Me personally, I put extremely detailed merge messages. It's always been the case, just because I'm used to working large code bases and coming back like 3 years later, and I'm like, what the heck was this guy thinking? And it's always me who was thinking it. And it's really helpful to have really detailed messages about what you're doing and why you're doing it. There's really no penalty for too much information. There can be a penalty to you later on, 2 years down the road or 5 years down the road, when you come back to this code base, you have no idea what's going on, why these changes happened. Cool. And that's just other stuff. I'm going to put this slide in Slack so you guys can come back and read these things in detail. And get pushed. Again, that's at the end of, you've done everything. You're going to push all your local stuff up to GitHub so other people can see it, they can pull it, they can look at it, and it exists for other people to collaborate with. Until you've pushed your code, it just exists in your local and really isn't doing anything. So git push. This is like the initial push. I'm not sure how much detail I want to get into this. Yeah, so the first time you push, you do this, and then every push after that. So if you make an initial push and you're like, blah, 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 oh, that's cool. And like, oh, actually, I need to update GitHub. GitHub has, I've pushed my local branch up there, and now GitHub has it, but I've made changes. You could just keep on changing and push again, and it'll just update the same branch on GitHub. Is that all clear? Am I going too fast? I'm going too slow? Okay. I got nothing from you guys. I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Git pull. That's when you pull from your local, you're going to pull down from GitHub, and you're going to say, okay, well, what you got for me? Git checkout main, which is, again, on your local, you switch. In your local set of files, you don't see it, but it actually knows all the different branches you've worked on, main, bug 2, feature 5. You don't see it, but when you say checkout, you can check out and like switch between these different branches. And then you can like, okay, well, I'm going to switch to main, my understanding of main, and I want to pull from what the remote has, what GitHub has. And it's going to try and merge that and make things right for you. But the generally just a pull is, hey, what's the latest? What's the latest and greatest? Cool. And this is pull requests. Whole thing. Xavier is all set to do this. He's super pumped, I can tell. And this is a whole workflow that is it's pretty clean and pretty well thought out by GitHub. But we won't cover that. Okay. And then eventually, when you're going to do work and do collaborative work, you will get merge conflicts, and it's going to be okay. Probably there'll be no document in case of death by merging yet. So yeah, it's fine. Conflicts happen all the time. And that's usually when other people are working on the exact same set of lines that you're working on, and Git is going to be like, this ain't cool. So you have to figure out what you want to keep and what you want to toss out. And that's just, you have to think about it. You have to think about the logic of what's happening. There's apparently a link here to a helpful guide. But yeah, we're always here to help. Merge conflicts are never fun. But yeah. Cool. This is a bit more nitty gritty. Git. This is by no means do you have to understand this, but if you start getting in the bowels of Git, which again you don't have to do, this starts to talk about all the different parts of Git and where it stores stuff and what different commands mean and do. Cool. And there's documentation. There's last in Git tutorial, which I guess is okay. This is something up here, which is a visual Git reference if you want to dive deep. Google Stack Overflow. And then a good topic for office hours or anytime in Slack, if you guys want to chat about it, is how you do all this Git business in VS Code or whatever IDE you're using. Because yeah, I almost never use the command line because typing stuff out, I'm always going to make an error. I usually just lean on whatever the IDE does, however it does merging and stuff, and it'll have all of it built in. If you guys want to chat about that, we can, whenever. And then the other resources are your teammates. Cool. And that's it. Do I have any questions, concerns, comments? All good? Let me put this in our Slack channel. Is that right? Yeah, I'll put this on. Cool. Let me stop sharing before I do something crazy here. Cool. I'm done.
Yeah. Amazing. Thanks, Jason. I'm realizing now that we did things a little bit out of order, and that's my bad. That's on me. So let's rewind a little bit and do some introductions just so that we can all, now that we're in like a smaller group, get to know each other, because we'll be working closely together for the next 8 or 9 weeks, I think. So yeah, I can go first. My name is Megan Sullivan. I'm in the Bay Area. This is my second time mentoring. I mentored once in 2021, I think. Yeah, what else? I'm currently between jobs, but most recently I was at a startup doing like developer education work. So building courses for developers to help them learn how to use our company's tools. Let's see. Let's do the mentors first, and then we'll pass it off to the Collabbies. Xavier, you want to go next?
Yeah. So my name is Xavier. I am in Georgia. I'm an L1 front-end engineer at Zapier, and that's my first engineering position. And I am a new mentor here. I've never mentored before. Very nervous, but excited. You know, I've always wanted to do what I can to try and help people sort of break into engineering like I did, because, you know, it's honestly a godsend getting to work in this field. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to, you know, help out in any way I can. And Jason.
Oh, hi, I'm Jason. I've been in the business for a long time. Spent the first 12 years doing backend and front-end work for a university. A lot of Java, a lot of bespoke stuff. And then after that, I worked for 8 years at a SaaS company for scheduling, and that was pretty cool. And now I'm a staff engineer at Uplight, which is a SaaS company for energy companies, which is cool. I mean, it's about like reducing electrical footprint, so that's cool. I'm ready and available to talk about anything and everything you guys want to talk about. What it's like to work in different fields, in different languages, whatever. Cool. That's me. I'm gonna pop over to Nisha. Oh, I'm out of Vancouver.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nisha. I'm based in Toronto. I've been learning how to code for a year and a half. So I'm very excited to be here and get to learn from you guys and other developers here too. Thank you. I'll popcorn it over to Nina.
Hey guys, I am Nina. I am based off of Palm Coast, Florida. And I decided to do a slight career change about a month and a half ago. So I think one of the things that I was writing down is like, I can't believe that I'm here, because like I applied because I was like, you never know, you might get in, and I didn't really expect to get in, so I'm really excited to be here. Yeah, that's, I mean, I have my background is in mechanical engineering, so that's what I did 4 years ago. I did that for about 5 years. And then I moved into building like my own business, and then I decided that was a lot of stress for me. So I decided to try to go back into a role that would allow me to still be able to work from home. So that's kind of what I'm doing now in terms of studying and learning, and then hopefully getting my first position in software engineering. So yeah.
Let's pass it to Jenna.
Yeah.
All good.
Hi everybody. I'm Jenna Lee. I'm about an hour south of Los Angeles. And I actually did my undergraduate studies in economics. And when I graduated, I was like, I don't want to be a financial advisor working, at Chase doing God knows what. So I learned to code for about like a year, also this past year actually. And yeah, I had a friend who's in a prior cohort of TCL, and he was just like, yeah, you have to apply because he had so much fun. And that's why I'm here. So Jeff, you're next.
Hi, everyone. I'm living east of LA, actually. I was living in NorCal for a bit as a teacher, and then I moved back down because I actually had a kid very recently. So that's been a little bit of a struggle. He's only 8 months old. As for me, I am or was a teacher for 5 years. I taught middle school and high school science, specifically biology and physics. It's actually during the period when COVID had just started, we transitioned into remote learning. I decided to try to make some resources for my students because I found the online resources, especially the free ones, quite lacking. And that's why I'm here. Good to meet you all.
Nice. That's awesome. Thanks for everybody for sharing a little bit about yourself. So this first weekly sync is a little bit different from our other ones because we won't have demos because we're just getting started. So to start, I know that we looked at the GitHub repos a little bit during orientation, but what we are going to do now is assign which pairs you all will be working in, and then assign the projects that assign the issues that you will be working on for this first part of the project. So here, let me share my screen. Okay, can everybody see this? Sweet. So here, I'll drop a link in the chat, is our repo. Sorry, I'm terrible at multitasking. Okay, so this is our repo that we'll all be working in. I see that some of you have already made contributions to add yourself as a contributor, which is awesome. Thank you for doing that. If you haven't yet, there's some instructions down here at the bottom about how to go about doing that. So you can just find the contributors file. Let's see. So what we are going to do, just quick show of hands, who's set up the repo already on their local machine? If you haven't, it's fine. We can go through and do it now. Okay, cool. So for the folks who haven't done it yet, we're going to go through and do that part now, and then make sure that you are all up and running to work on your to work with your pair this week. So on your computer, let's see, let me do this in another window because I don't know what I have open in VS Code right now. I'm gonna open this. Okay. So this is just a new VS Code window here. I'm going to go to my terminal. Let me make this a little bigger. And then I'm going to come over here. Let me split screen this. Hold, please. Need some little elevator music. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to come and click this green button and then copy this link here. And then in your terminal, you're just going to navigate to wherever you want this to be. So I'm going to go to documents, and then I'm just going to type git clone and then that repo name. And then it's going to pull down a copy of my repo to my local machine. And then let's see, let me copy this directory name. So I can CD to change into that directory. And then this part you don't need to know, but this is just going to open, it's going to refresh this VS Code window with this like folder directory. Oh, yes, I trust them. This is just me. Okay. So now here you can see all of your files for this repo. So in here in contributors, what you'll do, and actually, let me also do this because I have not added myself. So I'll come in here under mentors for me. I will add myself, Megan Sullivan. Let's see, what is my GitHub? I think it's boop. And then now I'm going to save these changes. And then in the terminal, I'm going to do git status to see what changes I've got locally. And then I'm going to add this file. And then I'm going to commit. And let's see, what am I going to say? Added myself to contributors. And then I'm going to, well, first I'm going to pull just on the off chance that in these moments anybody has pushed anything. Okay, and that says up to date, so then I'm good to push it. Sweet. So normally you would make your own branch for the changes that you all will be doing. You'll make a branch before pushing, but I didn't want to add too much overhead to this first little bit. So for anybody who hasn't added themselves yet to this contributors file, go ahead and take some time to do that after this meeting. This will all be recorded, so you can refer back to it. Any questions on that stuff before I move forward? It's okay if you have them.
Did we not want to show using Git through VS Code, or is that not something we cover?
I don't know how.
Okay.
I
Okay,
only
no
use Git through the
No
command
worries.
line, so I don't know how to do those things.
No worries,
but
no worries.
if you have any questions about it, or if you know how to do it, and want to
do
go
people want to
over it
know? Is that of interest to anyone? Zero response. It's well, I can just walk you through it. It's this little dude above the debug. Yeah, click. Yeah, if you click that guy, that guy. Yeah, cool. And then if you if you just change anything, just change whatever you want. Just type. Cool. And then this guy should be grumpy now. Cool. And then you just write the message there and hit commit. You're done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today I learned.
Yeah. So you can actually stage from that little plus thing. That's stage. Yeah. And then you can your message is up there on the top. Yeah. Put your message there, and from there you can either commit or you can commit and push. Like I don't really care. Just commit and push. This is done. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today I learned a thing. Cool. So if there aren't any questions on that, then let's go through and look at the issues for this week. So there's a list of all of the issues that you can click on individually, or if you want to track your progress, I like using this project view because it's a little bit easier to see the stages that things are in. So I'm going to pull these first two issues over here. These are going to be the ones that are in progress. Oh, actually, before I do this, actually, let me go back to... Let me go back to the project brief to see what our pairs are for this first round. So here's some helpful links that are mostly linking to places in the GitHub repo, but you can also see here where our shopping list starter is deployed. And then also your Firebase instance here, which will be how all of the database stuff is used. And don't worry if this looks overwhelming, you'll learn how to do this as you go. Was everybody able to, I guess, show of hands, who was able to accept the invitation to Firebase and get in okay? All right, look at you all. Well done. Okay, so this first round, it looks like week 1, our pairs are going to be Jenna and Nina, and then Jeff and Nisha. So with that in mind, let's see. Where did the project go? Okay. So these are the 2 tickets that we'll be tackling this first week. So this first one, as a user, I want to read the names of all the items in my shopping list. So this is going to be about getting your list of items showing up on the /list page. Yeah, and then because navigation links are currently broken, you'll have to add that path manually to your URL in the browser. So that's one ticket. And then this second ticket is, as a user, I want to be able to navigate to all the pages in the application by clicking the links in the nav bar. So this will set up the links to each of the pages of our app that then you can use to navigate between them. So any questions on either of those, or shall we just pick one? Okay, Nisha, which one do you and your pair want to work on? Not to put you on the spot. Anybody, if anybody has preferences, they can speak up, but just to move things along a little bit.
I'll take the first ticket.
Okay, the first one. Okay, so I'm going to add assignees. I'm assuming this one is you. Okay, and then who was your pair? I forgot.
Jeff.
Jeff, okay. Jeff, Jeff, what is your Git handle? Oh, okay. Ah. Sweet. And then that means that this one will be Nina. Okay. And then it's Jenna. Jenna, is this one you? Okay, cool. Let me double check my list of logistical things that we had to take care of. Any questions about like what the process is now after, like for pairing on stuff? I know we talked about that a little bit in orientation, but if there's any logistical questions. I'll post in Slack, I'll post 2 threads, or I guess I'll start 2 threads that you can use in our channel just to organize amongst yourselves, like when is a good time to pair in the next couple of days. And then Xavier will be hosting office hours this week. So if you have any questions, you can go to those and ask him for help. Or you can, at any time, you can post in the team Slack channel, and the mentors will all be checking that pretty regularly to help. Ooh, can the mentors model how a pair programming session might go? Yeah, let me think of like what we could program on. We're going to have a module in a couple of weeks that talks about pair programming, which now feels like maybe that's a little too late. Let me double check in the mentor checklist. There is a list of learning modules. So I can post this. I can post the slides to this in our Slack channel, and then you can look that over. Did you have any specific questions about how to pair?
No, it was just more of a general question because I haven't worked with other people for
100%. Yeah.
collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah. So long and short of it is typically you'll split it up. So there will be one person who is driving and one person who is navigating. So one person will be typing on the computer at a time, and then like sharing their screen. And then the other person is helping like talk through the approach of like, what are we trying to do? Like, what are we stuck at? Like, what information do we have so far? That's one way to do it. But yeah, usually it's just like talking about, oh, what should we do next? How do we do that? And then making sure that both people get to, like switch roles you can do it pretty frequently if you want to practice like making small commits. So every like 15-20 minutes if you want to set a timer and then trade roles. That's one way to do it. Yeah, this has like a little sort of diagram of what that cycle looks like. But I think, Xavier, are you doing this one in a couple weeks? Is it next week? Or not next week, but like the next learning module?
Yeah, I believe it's next week. And
or it won't be next week because next week will be, or no, wait, sorry. You're right. It is next week. This one is weird because it's week 0.
Okay, yeah, it starts with 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just shared this kind of a sidebar type thing. There's this tool that we use on my team at work that basically just kind of makes it easier to hand off code when you are pairing with someone. Because ordinarily you would have to you'd have to make a commit, push it, then send it off to the other person. They would pull it and pick up where you left off. Whereas here, it's just kind of like it kind of allows you to instantaneously hand off code. So I just, in case, a lot easier. I've linked to it again.
Sorry, I just started the recording again.
Can I share my screen really quick? Because I know people were asking some stuff about VS Code.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Oh, you disabled screen share.
Ah, man. This is why you don't use your personal Zoom and always use a work Zoom. Okay.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of just like leveraging your tools as much as possible. Like that Git thing, because I'm a little bit like, butterfingered, and like if you put in commands wrong, things can go south super quick. So I just like to like leverage tools as much as possible. So the first question I had was, oh, how to get to look cool? So in VS Code, super meta, there's a really important command, which is Control-Shift-P. Control-Shift-P gets you with command palette. Command palette, you can search for anything that VS Code does and just like figure it out. So I was like, I don't know, I call it theme. Cool. You just hit enter. And from here, I can just select my theme. And my favorite since probably 2008, Monakai. This is my favorite theme, but you can pick whatever you want. That was the first thing. And the second thing is in VS Code, there's like these guys here, which do all sorts of cool stuff, right? You can search for whatever you want, which when you have massive code bases is really important to do. This is where I live most of my life, in the source control, doing commits, looking at stuff. This guy is, I don't know if you guys have to worry about this yet, but you're able to run your code. You can debug stuff. I'm not sure if I want to get into that. And this is where you can install all your extensions and your plugins to make your life easier. I don't know how much you guys want to get into that, but it's there if you want it. But I just wanted to emphasize the Control-Shift-P is super important. Anytime you get a new job or you decide to switch languages or new IDEs, sort of what I do is I always create a little text pad thing, and I just put in the most important commands that I'm always going to forget and have to go back to. In this case, I just start writing them down. So command palette, open file, which is Control P, right? So like that, you just open it from there. So having a little file that has all the things that you are constantly going back to will help you sort of iterate and start to memorize all the hotkeys quicker, so you can move around your code and make your life easier. And that was my quick presentation.
Nice. I think the only thing that we have left to do now is to have the two pairs work together to set up their branches for the coming week. I don't know if you saw there's a naming convention for our branches. Let's see, what file is it in? Basically, when you create your branch, it'll just be the initials of the first person's name, the initials of the second person's name, and then whatever the commit message is. So here I'll type like an example. Let's see. So something like this in the chat where the two people in the pairs initials and then whatever you want to name your branch. So what we could do is split out into two little breakout rooms maybe, and then make, well, I guess, how would you all feel about doing it? Like, do you want to stay all in one same Zoom, or do you want to split out into two separate breakout rooms so that you can chat? Actually, do I even have the ability to do breakout rooms? We might have to just do it in here. I will figure out how to get a pro account so that we can do more fun things. But let's have each person, one person from each pair, decide who's gonna drive, and then we can have sort of a mini, like live on the spot pair programming, and just like share your screen, and then we can make the branch and then push it up to the remote. So let's see, from the first pair, I should really remember from moments ago what the pairs are. But Jenna, who was your pair? Okay, Jenna and Nina. Let's have one of you who wants to share their screen and walk through. We'll do it together, so you don't have to remember any of the commands or anything. We're just trying to get you set up so that you're ready to go.
Yeah, I can share mine because I have the code pulled up right now.
Oh, amazing. It'll be super speedy.
Share screen. Okay. Can y'all see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Could you make your text size a little bit bigger?
Do I
on
choose
mine if I do Command or Control plus? Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let's start by making a new branch.
Okay.
Or actually, let's start by pulling the latest changes from main, because there's been stuff. Okay, great.
Right. And I just added this really quickly. I haven't
amazing. Well
pushed
done.
it yet. Should I do that?
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll push it first, and then when you check out your branch, that change will already be in there too.
Okay. What is the commit message for this again?
You can call it whatever you want. The commit messages
Okay.
are just something that will make it easier for you as a human to go back later when you are trying to figure out why these changes were made. It helps add a little bit of context. Yeah, that's perfect.
And let's just push that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So then that's going to push it up to the main branch on the remote.
Okay.
And then now you can make a new branch locally. I think you don't need the quotes.
Okay. Gotcha. And it was my initials, and then the ticket.
And then your pair's initials.
Okay.
And then, yeah, which ticket are you on?
I have so many tabs open.
Listen, that is the story of my life.
It doesn't help at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it
it's the
looks like you're
second
on
one.
number 2. Okay, yeah, so let's see.
Navigate to all pages.
Mm-hmm.
Clicking the links in the nav bar.
Yeah, so you could call it like nav links or navigation or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Nav links sounds good.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So now this made a local copy. So you've got a copy of this branch on your computer, your computer's copy of the repo. And so now we want to get this onto the remote repo. So which command would we use for that?
I think just add and commit and push.
Almost. So for branches, it's a little bit different. So you don't have to add and commit them because there aren't any actual changes in it yet. So now you can just push it right directly.
Oh.
So it'll give you something that's just telling, yeah, you only have to do that one time. And then
Okay.
from there, you can just do
Git push.
Git push every other time. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's already done it for you. But yeah, that first time you have to set the upstream so that it knows which branch on the remote on GitHub do you want to connect it to.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then that's it. Now you can do your changes in here and you would just commit them and then push them to that branch the same way. And then when you're all done, then you can open a pull request.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so you're good to go. And then now let's have the other pair go. So Nisha or Jeff, who wants to drive?
I can drive. Sorry,
right.
I just have a lot of
No,
windows.
all good. It's hard to find the unmute button.
Okay. Hopefully it's this one. This one though.
Are you looking for the share your screen button or?
No, I just have several VS Code windows open.
Oh, okay. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I just have to enable. Okay, I think it should work now. Sorry, I thought I granted access, but it's not working.
That's okay. I think actually if it hasn't granted access the first time, you might have to like leave and then join. So we can switch and Jeff, not to put you on the spot, but can we have you do this for today?
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Listen, I'm having Zoom issues today too. So.
So I was just unclear about what we were supposed to do. Share our screen with the.
Yeah, so if you
VS
share your
Code and-
screen with the VS Code, we're gonna just walk through the steps of creating your branch so that you and your pair are all good to go tomorrow or Monday.
I don't have permission to push to the repo.
Oh, weird. Post about it in the mentors channel, maybe?
I'm sorry, I'm also having the same issues with the sharing the
Oh,
settings.
okay.
interrupt.
No, all good.
I'm able to share my screen now. I
Oh, yay.
think.
Okay, cool.
Let me try.
Silly Zoom.
Are you guys
Hooray. Yeah, we can see it.
okay? Um,
Okay, cool. So now we can make a new branch. Or I guess pull the latest changes from main and then make a new branch. Amazing.
um, should it be display items? Display list items?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I think that you
Oh, I
might
used
not want
the
the
bracket.
triangle
Yeah.
brackets. Yeah.
My bad.
All good. Okay, cool. And then do you remember which step comes next? Yeah. Oh, nice. Next level.
That's it?
No, I don't actually remember what comes next. It's like
No?
origin and then the name of your branch or
Oh,
something. I always just do git push and then copy
Okay.
paste that line. I think there's a way that you can configure your git to do that automatically, but I don't. I'm a creature of habit. Yeah, so then you can just copy paste that git push with the values and stuff.
Man, I literally just like push buttons on my ID. Is all I'm doing.
All right. Cool. So then now the pair, whoever didn't do this, should be able to pull from the repo, and then you can just do git checkout without the -b and then the name of your branch. And then you'll also be able to see the same stuff. And I think that's all we've got for today. What questions do folks still have? Yeah, go for it.
Do I have one quick question? Since I'm the last one to do the contributors thing, is it cool if I edit it directly into the main branch? Or do we want
Yeah. So I think for the contributors file, it's
I just wanted to
faster.
make sure.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that you don't have to like open a pull request just for a one line change. Yeah. And then we'll all just pretend that we didn't push directly to main.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And then Jason, we'll figure out how to get you access to push to it, because that's weird. Yeah. Any other questions before we send you off to work on your first tickets? Nice.
Okay,
You got
cool.
this. It's going to be great. We'll be around. We're in the Slack channel, or if you want to DM anybody, just let us know how it goes. And then we'll see you at, or I guess Xavier will see you at office hours this week. And then we'll see you on next Saturday. All right.
Good luck, everyone.
I have another question. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Now's the time.
Yeah, for the office hours, is it everyone together with the mentor, or is it like individual? Like
yeah, so the office hours, and Xavier, feel free to add anything. But the office hours will mostly just be a time where it's like, hey, a mentor is available at this time, and there will be a Zoom, and you can join if you have something to talk about. And if not, you don't have to come. But if you run into any problems or have any questions about the project, or even just like sometimes people will show up just to chat about like career or like interviewing, like any sort of stuff that you want to talk about, that is a time that we are available to help out.
Awesome. Thank you very much. you.
And I've sent some, or I created a poll just so everyone can see what times I have available. And if none of them work for you guys, you can just let me know, and I'll just move some stuff around.
Sweet. All right. Go get them. You got this. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.